Hey, welcome to Rio Grande Cable Access. As we develop shows, we're going to bring them to you here live at 2 p.m. There's currently a show being developed for this time slot. I do believe it's Body Talk, but it's not ready to go yet. So, in the place, instead of that, I thought we might just talk about what's going on here and what's coming up. Maybe we call it Inside Rio Grande Cable Access. So I do have a guest on, and that guest is Grant Millard, one of my students and student helpers.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Grant.
Grant, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you came from, and
Just in general.
yeah.
I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio. I came to Rio Grande actually to run track, of all things. I was a pole vaulter, but the thing was I wasn't very good at it, but I liked it here when I came, so I stayed regardless of only running for a year. But yeah, I came from Dayton. I lived there for most of the time. I went to Northmont High School, and then I came here and studying history, and this is my senior year, so I wanted to, for more or less, at least try to enjoy my last semester. So I got involved with this fun camera equipment and the show and all that kind of stuff.
So you're not a broadcast major?
No, I'm a history major.
History. So what do you plan to do with that? There are several types of degrees that you can have, like English and history and some of those other liberal arts things. And people go, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah, history. There aren't too many job titles that call specifically for a history degree. It's not like a tech degree or anything like that. But right now I'm looking at a few things. I actually want to go into the Air Force as a pilot. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I've talked to a recruiter, and my odds of doing that, depending on how I do on the tests and the entrance and stuff, is actually pretty good. So I'm looking at that. I'm also looking long-term aspirations at law school. Once I get some just life experience in general, I think that'd be fun. But I'm also a marketing minor. So that is kind of tagged on my degree. So I just like to sell stuff. So when all else fails, I'll just go sell something
So that ties into your piloting career. If you were a fighter pilot, then you're going to sell freedom to nations that don't want it.
Yes. So I probably won't use a silver tongue, but more of a silver bullet, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
To convince him of that stuff. But so no, I have options, and I think that's kind of the cool thing about Rio is that I'm able to get a bunch of experience, even though I have a history major, that'll still make my job application more marketable or more
That's one
attractive.
good thing about Rio Grande is that you don't have to, well, I don't know, you can make your own degree sometimes, but the freedom to do, I don't know, what your interests are.
Right.
Are a little bit easier to do here, just because we're small.
Yeah, some people think it's a small campus, you don't have as many opportunities, and that's kind of misleading because it's so small, you know so much, and you know so many people. I can make a phone call and get some experiences that people who go through meetings and interviews several different places at Ohio State can't get because...
If you just want to walk up and talk to the provost, the president, or something with an issue, you can do that within an hour probably.
Yeah, I was speaking of the president, I was eating lunch yesterday, and I go to get, I'll put my jacket down at my seat, and I'll go to get food, and I come back, and the president's sitting in my seat just talking to my friends who are...
So you're like, hey, lady.
Well, I kind of waited and let her talk, just because, but I think that's really cool. She's just, one of the cool things about our new president and just Rio Grande in general is that you have such close contact with professors and even people who are normally considered above your pay grade in some sense. So it's really neat to have access to that kind of stuff.
So from the time that you were a freshman, how has your goals changed, and maybe why did those goals change? Did you always think you wanted to be a pilot and you had this in your sights or not?
Well, I knew I wanted to be in the military, I guess, but my goal originally was to come here, actually transfer after 2 years and go to Ohio State. I think that's actually a lot of incoming freshmen have the mentality of doing, staying here for 2 years and transferring, but I stayed all 4, just because I liked what Rio had to offer. I just got involved in a lot of things. I got involved in campus ministry that really helped me out a lot, and I got the professors, and they just helped me so much. And then also, I became an RA on campus, and so I stayed here for 4 years, and my goals changed in the sense that I wanted to be I was presented with the opportunity to be a pilot, or later on, like that's actually something new. I didn't think I was able to do that, but
because you just wanted to be an officer.
Right,
first.
I just wanted to be an officer first, and eventually be a JAG, do the whole law school track. And I didn't even know what degree I was going to get in. I thought just several different things, but because of the faculty members in the history department. But I mean, I'm kind of like a mutt at Rio Grande, because I'm a history major, but I'm also been in a heck of a lot of English courses. I've been in a heck of a lot of marketing courses and business courses, and even communications courses. And so I'm there, and you can kind of see there are different people who are. Different circles of students that are kind of all like a community, and I kind of fit in several different ones all at once.
Right.
And
I think they call them cohorts, maybe.
Right, cohorts. Yeah, that's a good word. So it's been fun. I'm just because I'm able to do that at Rio. It's been fun. It's just kind of all shaped it to point me in several directions. And I guess
I remember you when you were just knee high to a grasshopper, because I had you in freshman success.
Yes, yeah, had me in freshman success. That was the one of the first classes I had, period. Yeah. So first semester, I was little. I didn't, full of spit and vinegar, but so really my goals have changed in the sense that I'm not so holding on tight to one, because Rio's allowed me to have such a broad range of experience and education that I'm able to take several different routes if I want to. So, and just working with this kind of stuff, this is a green screen back here. That's just cool to me. Not to spoil it for those of you at home, but that's just neat. Working in this kind of atmosphere when I'm a history major, of all things, not very many people get that opportunity. Yeah,
I don't. As far as people coming in here and helping me out with broadcasts and things, I've had history majors and education majors. I don't care what major you're in. I will take you in and train you, even if you would want to do a show by yourself.
Yeah.
And host something. I'll show you how to do it, give you the reins. You won't get the whole education that I would give a communications person.
Right.
The whole science behind things. But as far as just operating the station, I'll show you how to do that. Yeah.
And it's something cool to just put on a resume. I have experience in communications and radio and video broadcasting. It's not something that can't hurt. And I think a lot of times when people don't get jobs because they're too single-minded and focused that I want to do this, and they don't take something else. So when you have a broader range, then you can do a lot more. So yeah, so that's me. I'm Grant, and it's weird being on this side of the camera. I'm normally switching angles or turning off mics or something like that. So this is.
But I think you're equally as comfortable up here.
Yeah. I don't mind. Don't mind being in the spotlight, I guess. But so hopefully that's again another skill I get to develop at Rio Grande. It's just a great place. Just a great.
Yeah. What would you say to those people that come in thinking, I've got to get out of here after 2 years because I want to transfer and just use that community college entrance?
Well, you kind of miss out. I think people normally they don't see value in what Rio Grande has to offer because of its size and because its lack of what they see as lack of money and lack of opportunities as a result. But I'd say college is what you're going to make it, and Rio has a vast array of opportunities that you can take, where you can get exposed to stuff you just can't get exposed to anywhere else because there's so much less red tape here than there is at other universities. And so. I have friends that are coming out with degrees that are so specialized, but everyone has this weird specialized degree and they can't get jobs because they only did one thing. And so coming to Rio, doing 6 different things, you can, if you have to, you can branch out and do something else. So it gives you a lot more opportunities than you might realize. So you're just kind of wasting your time if you think I got to get out of here, because then you're not even going to give Rio Grande a chance like most people can do. So.
I think that's very true. So let's bring out our other student,
Okay.
Luke Lawrence.
Luke Lawrence.
If Luke will go to shot to me, then these guys can quickly change places and turn their microphones on and off. And we'll talk to our other student while Grant goes behind the scenes to handle the switching. Hey, it's magically turned to Luke.
Hi.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Luke.
I created my own major here.
Now,
at
where did
Rio.
you come from?
Oh, I just went in to write about Rio. Sorry. Well, I'm from Patriot or Patriot, depending on how you want to
But you were
pronounce it.
raised there.
But I was raised there, so I don't know.
Most people who are raised there are called Patriot, right?
That's true, yeah.
And you're just a rebel.
Well, you don't call it the Patriot with Mel Gibson.
Right.
So, yeah, I went to Southwestern, and then I went to South Gaia High School, and
Oh, okay, Southwest. You weren't around when Southwestern was a high school. You were talking about Southwestern.
Southwestern Elementary and Junior
Okay,
High.
right.
Although when I was in grade school, I remember getting to ride the bus with the high school students and stopping at Southwestern High
Right.
School
Okay.
before that happened.
So how did you find yourself here?
At Rio Grande.
Right. Why did you choose here?
Well, I didn't actually think I was going to go to college for very long because I didn't really want to go to college when I was 18.
Sure.
So-
I kind of understand that because I wasn't really ready to go to college out of high school, and I was just kind of sick of it, of books and all that kind of thing, and I went to the military for my education, which was, for me, a good choice. It was more hands-on, and it taught me a skill that I can use right here currently.
Yeah.
So you didn't really want to go, but you ended up coming here.
Well, I came for a semester, I withdrew. I played in bands and worked crappy jobs and
That's when you realized
I found my way back.
that's when an education might pay off, huh?
Yeah, so I was like a music major, a history major, and then an English major within like 3 semesters. So,
Okay.
and then I stuck with English for the longest.
Are you still an English major?
No, I created my own degree,
Okay.
creative writing for performance.
All right.
So
It kind of melds a lot of things together.
yeah, I get to put everything we do here together with creative writing and music, working on a show.
It's still writing in a sense and communicating like you would in a book or another way, but the medium is just a little bit different.
Yeah,
So you've got some a
wiggle room.
wider array of media that you can write for, maybe.
Yeah, well, I just love being able to take everything that I have been working here. I was in songwriters class 4 times. I've taken a whole
Is that
bunch of
because
English
there's
classes.
4 classes, or you?
Oh no, I just repeated it that many
Okay.
times because it's fun. So, but just taking all the music classes and English classes, and then the communications or journalism classes with you, and then being able to put those together in a degree, it just made sense for me personally.
So what's your degree going to be?
Oh, it's creative writing for performance.
Okay. And what do you hope to do when you graduate? And that's
After-
this year, right?
This summer,
Right.
because financial aid issues, but
Right. Okay.
yeah, I'm actually going to be doing an MFA as long as I get in, applying to a few different schools.
Right.
An MFA in creative writing.
Which then you want to do what with? I mean, do you want to teach,
Well-
or do you want to?
Well, I can teach while working on my creative projects.
Mm-hmm.
So even though the MFA is a terminal degree, you still, and you can teach with it, you still have to be working professionally. So
Okay. I wasn't sure if you wanted to write for shows or if you,
yeah, I would love to write for shows or continue making my own shows
Right.
while teaching.
Tell me about your current show that you're working on. Not that I don't know enough of it anyway, because have a small part, and you've been editing on it for 2 or 3 weeks and shooting.
Yeah, 2
and,
weeks. it's called Late Night Dick's with an apostrophe. There's a character, his name is Dick, and he owns his dad's restaurant, which is a joke.
Manages his?
No, he owns his dad's restaurant. He thinks he owns his dad's restaurant. That's part of the
Okay.
silliness. And it's basically just kind of like the show The Office, but in a restaurant. And
Pizza place?
Well,
Or not?
he thinks it's a burger joint, but it's actually a pizza place, basically, yeah.
Okay, so he doesn't have a clue.
He doesn't really have a clue about anything, that character, so it's kind of fun. And then there's just, side characters, and pretty much the entire first episode, I think we see food like 2 or 3 times. So that's part of
It's more or less
their
the
charm.
politics within the restaurant and
Yeah.
a clueless manager.
Just trying to be like people being bored or
It seems like this is
irritated.
a poor business model for a restaurant because I'm not sure how many. It's a very small restaurant, and what do you have, like 10 people that work there? Or,
Oh, there's
Seems like a large
7 people
cast.
that end up working there by the end of the episode.
okay,
Because it goes through 6 days of actual fake footage, the mockumentary style.
Right.
So yeah. And I don't think that the business would be lasting in real
Feasible.
life. I don't think the character Dick Straight would be someone you would invite on business talk.
Yeah.
So
here's a bad example.
this is how to not do business.
He's running this one right into the ground.
Yeah. So.
What else can you tell me about interests and things that you do? You've had stage
I've played
performance?
a lot of shows. I've been in several plays. This is the first time I'm actually doing something on screen with the show, which is what I'm really stoked about.
So you're director, actor, shooting, and
I'm technically not director. I'm more like first assistant director because I thought it would be difficult to be acting so much and trying to direct. Either one of them for me, like especially on the first time, would probably I'd be sitting there trying to direct them as I'm acting.
right.
So
Sort of like I do here, where it's like, hey, go to this other shot.
yeah. So
And let's see, directing.
editing.
Did you write it or?
Yeah, me and Joey Hager, we co-wrote it,
Okay.
and I
If it's all right, I'm not sure about what it has in the script. We may even show it on channel 17 here.
that'd be cool.
Do you think it's clean enough to show on channel 17?
Here's an interesting thought. When the provost was here, he was talking about the whole college experience and like the class with the film class with Dr. Duda, and what was
right.
appropriate for college. But you're here to learn.
And he was talking about it within the framework of we've got high school students here
Yeah,
that are trying to take college credit.
yeah. So I don't know. In my mind, I want to somehow use that to say it is fitting
justification.
For justification. I don't know if I can because it's pretty crass,
Okay.
but I'd like to.
Okay. Well, we'll see, and hopefully that'll turn out well. How much more work do you have to go on it?
A lot. I've got 30 minutes of footage edited, but when you're editing a show, you put everything you have down, and then you want to tighten it up and fine tune it.
Right. That's where
so-
people, the guys in Hollywood come up with a movie. It might be 3.5 hours long. It's like, we can't have people sitting in a theater for 3.5 hours. We've got to cut some stuff out.
Yeah. They might not think everything I think is funny.
Right.
And I
So you have to have a test audience. and
Yeah,
everything.
so, and I don't want a scene to drag on for too long, so.
Was one of these roles more fun than the other? What do you like doing? The writing part of it, the acting part, the editing part?
Well, I think for me, everything coming together at the end, everything, I can't like choose one, but it's the collection of everything coming together. I guess maybe editing, I guess.
Because when you get into a bigger production, you would choose one of those roles.
If I had to choose, I think probably writing. the writing is where you get to have the most fun. So.
Okay. All right, so let's go back to the shot of me, and we'll change Luke out. Thanks for coming on, Luke.
Thank you.
And we'll have Pat Dingle coming on. And we're going to talk about what's coming up on RGCA in this time slot every week. So every week it's going to be a different show with a different focus. You lit up there?
I think so.
Okay.
I
And
think
hopefully Luke and Grant have turned off their microphones and are not planning a restroom break.
Gee, I thought I was going to be a student. I thought you were going to think I was a student
Yeah,
coming
what do
up.
you want to do when you grow up?
I haven't figured that out yet. You know, Mike, when we started this at the beginning of January, actually we started this October, November. We had those ideas.
Sort of brainstorming session.
Yeah, and they sort of jumped out of our heads, and it was rather interesting. Wouldn't it be nice? I think is how we started it.
Well, I've always wanted to grow, what we do here. And you've been, in large part, one of the major forces in getting people on the show, because you know a large variety of people. Not that
I tricked them.
but you're in a different circle of friends, and you've got access to people, and you've been very successful in getting people. I don't know if you know how to twist arms, judo or something, but
I cry a lot. Please, please, you'll make my day and things of that nature. But one of the things that we do have is 4 really good ongoing shows, and if we can ask Luke to go to the first screen or the first slide,
it's on
where it has
DDR1.
body talk.
It's yellow. There we go.
There we go.
The hosts are Marlene Childers and myself. Body Talk, we'll be talking about health-related issues on this program.
Yeah, if you go to the next slide.
And that will be my co-host,
Yes.
Marlene Childers. She's
Yes.
the Director of Health Services, or the nurse on campus if you have problems on campus. If you're a student, or even, band campers, or whoever's on campus that may have a medical emergency, she is the first line that will take care of you. And she runs a department of health services. If you have a problem, if you got a cough or whatever, she can dispense over-the-counter medications to you, wrap up your sores, and I don't know if she'll kiss your boo-boos or not, but
Well,
she's a very nice lady
Yeah,
anyway.
she is. Yeah, very, very true. Then on the second week, Luke, can you go to there we go.
Yeah, Exposition. It's an arts and culture show. Again, with me, co-hosted with Valerie Thomas. She's going to be sort of in your role of wrestling people onto the show. What we'll be featuring is local artists of southeastern Ohio. She works very closely with the French Art Colony in Gallipolis, Ohio. That's a shot from one of our previous shows. She works very closely with the French Art Colony and has artists and actors and different people in and out of there. So she knows a different group of people.
And if you go back to that one slide where it has Valerie G. Thomas art, please, Luke. Not only do they do art lessons and custom paintings and pet portraits.
That's her thing that
Yeah,
she does.
Yeah.
Right.
She has a daughter that does Irish dancing, and we're trying to convince her to come on and show us a few 2-steps. And not only is Valerie really gifted in different parts of the art, but she understands the language of art, I guess is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that show. I'm
Yeah,
looking
that one would be fun.
Yeah. The next show is
Agri Talk, and some of these may not be
we're
down
just,
in concrete
change
as
the
far
name.
as the names.
Yeah.
It may stick. Who knows? The hosts are Brad Burgerford, Dwayne Rigsby, Kimberly Roush, and myself.
Let me tell you a little bit about the three with Brad Burgerford. Brad is our faculty person. He is in horticulture, and he has had over 25 years involved in growing vegetables. He owns his own farm. Dwayne Rigsby lives near a farm, and he has always been the technician behind the Ohio State University South Centers. And so he has a really good idea. As a matter of fact, if you go to the next slide, there's all the different vegetables that harvest. But if you go to the
What's
next
that
slide,
lower vegetable there? That's
the turnip.
turnips.
Yes.
I was watching a show on I don't know if it was Discovery or Travel. They make a alcohol out of turnips in Austria.
Huh. Wow.
I thought that was pretty interesting. but-
Now I've heard of pumpkin wine.
Yeah.
And pumpkin wine is easy to make, but I've never heard of turnip wine.
No, it's not wine. It's like a liqueur, a schnapps, turnip schnapps.
Wow.
And everything in Germany and Austria, it's good for you.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to go to the next slide, and that's where many of my counterparts are. They're at a hops research program at the Worcester. And the hops has been really, really good, Mike, in the fact that there are over 200 different farms interested in growing hops because of the microbreweries. Wow.
And hopefully that is not a little flash in the pan interest that people have as far as, brewing beer.
And the next slide shows the fish, and then the next slide after that shows fish is our aquaculture, and then the next slide is Dwayne and
That was from our first show.
yeah, and there all three of you are intent on getting wisdom out. And then finally the fourth show, the fourth week.
Temporarily named Business World, which will have more of a manufacturing maybe slant on it instead of the business talk. It has Ryan Mapes, Brad Burgerford, Mike Rowe, and myself.
Yes.
And I think we'll be rotating out some of the hosting
Yeah.
jobs.
Yeah.
Or what do you see will be going on with that show?
That should have been Brad Babst. Not
Brad Babst, okay,
Oh,
right.
man.
The heck?
Brad's gonna, my humblest apologies. If you go to their picture,
There we are.
yeah, there, the
It's
four.
me, Mike Thompson,
Here is
Mike
a rough-
Rowe.
Yes. The guy
Brian
that does
Mapes.
the dirty jobs.
right. Ryan Mapes, and then Brad
Brad
Babst on the
Babst, right.
end in the red shirt.
And all three of them have been very actively involved in the industry. Brad is the director of the small business development, Mike the manufacturing business development, and Ryan the Endeavor Center. And so,
If you have a small business and it may be just not taking off, or I don't know, it has some issues, this might be a show that you'd want to watch, and you might pick up something that turns on that light bulb, because that's the part I'm
Yeah.
missing.
yeah.
Like streamlining production to help your overhead.
Yeah, and the task is really in these particular shows, to make it entertaining, make it fun,
And put out some worthwhile
Yeah.
information.
That's right. Mike, with the two students, the first thing that came to mind is to have a special show with them, in which we do a comedy show.
Uh-oh.
And so here's the challenge. If you have a 5-minute comedy shtick that you'd like to air, sometime in April, we'd like to have a comedy show. Couple rules. Number one,
There are no rules. No.
we are a family show.
Right.
And so,
Yeah, we're on the midday, so it's hard to
So-
tell who's watching.
so it has to be clean, funny, fun. We're going to record the 5 minutes, and we're going to have several of the students be the anchors. So give us a call if you would like to be involved in our comedy show. I'm very excited about what's coming up, Mike, and I really appreciate you anchoring and taking charge.
All right, so join us at this time slot every month, half an hour after Business Talk, and we'll have something interesting for you to watch. Thanks for watching this.
I'm Pat.
I'm Mike.
Have a great evening.